If you take just one thing away from here, it's this. Support and resistance are the key to profitable trading. Hey traders, Robert Roy here. Today we're going to dive into one of the most powerful concepts in technical analysis, support and resistance levels. You see, when I first started trading over 2 decades ago, I was overwhelmed by all the technical indicators out there. But here's the thing. While those fancy indicators have their place, understanding support and resistance is absolutely fundamental to becoming a successful trader. These levels are like a roadmap that tells you where price is likely to pause, reverse, or even break through. Let's start with the basics. Support levels are price areas where buying pressure tends to overcome selling pressure, causing the price to bounce higher. Think of it like a floor that keeps catching the price when it falls. Resistance, on the other hand, is more like a ceiling. It's where selling pressure typically overcomes buying pressure, causing the price to reverse and go lower. But here's where most traders go wrong. They draw every single level they see on their charts. Your chart shouldn't look like a kindergarten's coloring book. Instead, let me show you what makes a truly significant level. So let's jump over to my Omega Charts trading platform and I'll show you exactly what we're looking for. Okay, so we're looking at a stock here and I've already got 2 lines drawn on this chart. Why? Well, it's a stock that I look at and these are major levels that are important to me. Let me explain to you the why and how I went ahead and added those on there. So first off, we're going to start off with support. I am a very big believer that I like to draw my support line first, my resistance second. Does that mean you're wrong if you do it the other way? No, it's just the way that I like to do it. Right? So if we look at the very bottom here, you can see this candle came down, and I know, let me just back up a second. Some of you that are already familiar with how to draw lines are going to say, oh, no, you got to draw off of line charts, Rob. You know what? I learned on how to draw on a line chart, and I'm going to tell you right now that once you take that line chart and convert it over to a candle, you're going to see so many areas that you never would have caught had you just focused on that candle. I really believe it's critical that you learn how to draw them off of the candles, not off of the lines. Now, if you're good at drawing them off of lines, by all means, go for it. My way is not the only way. It's just the way that works best for me. So we've got this low part of this move to the downside. Now, you'll notice we're not sitting right at the very lowest wick there. I didn't go all the way down there, right? And then we came back here again, and we're right about the lowest low there. And then we've hit this entire cluster right here. Why is this important? Well, you know, if I took this line and drew it down here off of that wick, we got close on these 2 ties, so we really didn't get there, right? So is it really a support level then? Well, ideally, I want to have a minimum of 2 places that stock bounces off of before we can call it a support level, right? So if I just get and hit my undo button, it'll put it back where it came from, right? And what I'm really trying to do is, overall, I'm trying to take this line and leverage it where I catch the most points possible. I really don't want to, if this wick here came further down, let's pretend for giggles that it came all the way down here. Well, I would miss this point. So I would still want to move this up and catch as many points as possible or as many areas as possible that I can work off of for support. So now that we've got support down, let's go ahead and look at the top line, which is resistance. Remember, resistance is like your ceiling, right? There's resistance up there. If you try to climb a ladder, you're going to hit your head and fall off of that ladder, right? So same scenario. I've got it drawn where it just went through that wick a little bit. We hit it here. This is actually a whole congestion point right here. This wick hits it right on. This one hits it right on. And then here, a little bit on these bottoms here, a little on this bottom, a little bit here. But it doesn't mean that because we're down here or down here that level goes away. That level is still very important to us, right? Regardless of what happens, not every stock is going to hit any line exactly to the penny and stop. If that were the case, boy, I had multiple more zeros on my account because I guarantee it goes to those lines. It doesn't work that way. Let's talk about some interim lines, right? The one thing I want you to get really good at is identifying where your general support is and your general resistance is. That's what we've done right now. In this overall pattern in here, that's what we've got. We've got a support and resistance happening in there, okay? But now, could you draw more lines? Of course you could. I could come back here and say, well, I've got this here, and let me draw the line. I'll snap it first, right? And on Omega Charts, I'm just holding the control key down and hitting my left mouse key on an IBM, and it snaps it. I've got that bottom. We're good here, over here. We're good here. Yeah, that line works. Ooh, I could put another one right here, though, right? Let's do that. So let's draw another line there. And ooh, what about this bottom here? That was important, right? Because it hits over here as well. So, and it goes all the way back. Well, now what did I just do? I've got so many lines in there, it's of no value to me whatsoever, right? You've got to identify what's happening right now. Was this a line back here? Yes. Did that change? It did. Was it okay here? It was. Did it change? Yes. Did this line matter back here? Yeah. Is it good now? It is. Actually, this support may become more important than this one right now because we're hanging out there more than we were hanging out over here before. So bottom line, someone might look at this and say, Rob, all the levels can work at some point. They can. What's really most important is I just draw all these lines. I showed you how I like to do it, the low and the high. I come back and add all the middle lines in there, and now look over towards the right side of the chart. What line has the most importance right now? Does this line matter? Yeah, this line matters a whole heck of a lot. How about this one right here? It's okay, but it's not really a resistance for me. I'm going to take this one out for now, right? How about this line here? You know, it's okay, but with what's happened more recently, is that a more important line? I'm actually going to bring it down just a little bit. So I come off of the top of that wick, and I can actually get rid of this wick, this line right now, and this support and resistance becomes most important. So you have to focus on the right side of the chart. Yes, those levels are still important. Can I go back and draw it with a different line, let's say, and come off of here instead? Yes, I can, to show me that there was a line there, but I'm not projecting it forward to the right. Now here's something crucial that many traders miss. These levels aren't exact prices, they're zones. The market isn't precise to the penny, and thinking that way can lead to premature exits and missed opportunities. I typically look for a close or a wick within $1 or $2 of that support or resistance line, depending on the stock. Why? Because technical analysis is a science. Until you learn it, then it becomes an art. Here's another pro tip. The more times a level is tested, the more significant it becomes. But, and this is important, each test weakens that level, just ever so slightly. Think of it like a wooden beam supporting weight. Every time more weight is added, the beam bends just a little bit more until eventually it breaks. So let's go back to the charts and look at that. So that line that I drew here before, that was a great line, right? Actually, I could extend this out a little bit to the right. It comes off of that wick. It's beautiful, right? And then it hit here. It came up here. We could probably move it down a little bit, right? Come off of that high there. But then did it break out of there? Oh, yeah, baby. It sure did, right in here. It broke out. So at some point, that level is no longer needed for what's happening right now. But, and this is a big but, that line has value. We may tend to move back to it at some point, so I never want to delete it. I would just prefer to hide it or, back it up where it's not all the way extending out to the right, where it's there and I can always go back on a bigger view and see it. Now, here's my secret for identifying the strongest levels. Something that I've learned from decades of trading, looking for levels that have acted as both support and resistance. When a level switches role from support to resistance or vice versa, that's when you know you found something special. These are what I call respected levels, and they're amazing insights for traders. So let's go back to the chart one more time. We had a great resistance here. We hit it, we hit it, we hit it, we hit it, we broke out. We broke out, right? All over the place. And then what? We come back as support, we come back as support, and we bounce. And that's where we broke out of that high level that we had in there where we had to draw a new line. Remember, support and resistance analysis isn't just about drawing lines on a chart. It's about understanding market psychology. These levels represent areas where buyers and sellers have previously fought battles, and they're likely to fight yet again. Before we wrap up, here's one final tip that could save you thousands. Look left. Right? No, not turn your head left. Well, maybe it is. Look left. If you spot a level that has been hit, look left, to the left side of your chart. This will tell you if the stock respects that level. So if you see it happening now, look left. And that can indicate whether or not that level will be of use to you and how strong it is or isn't. If you found this helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more trading insights. Until next time, make it a profitable day. Stay focused on the quest to becoming a great trader. Keep crushing it. And remember, you're just one trade away. Go ahead and click here for another one of our great trainings.